left Walvis Bay behind me and headed off to Swakopmund. Along the way I stopped at a guana man-made island. Guana was sometimes called white gold. Once its value became known, indeed the scramble to mine it at times resulted in a pandemonium reminiscent of the American gold rush. Between Swakopmund and Walvis Bay, a wooden platform 200 meters offshore was erected on Bird Rock in 1932 by a carpenter named Adolf Winter, who had studied the behavior of seabirds. In spite of this, critics who called the structure Winter's folly embarked on the project and eventually became a millionaire. The 1.7 hectare platform, entirely built of wood, resting on 1,000 stainless steel stilts embedded in the rock, is a home for mainly the black cormorant and is calculated that approximately 500,000 birds could rest on it. I pulled into sleepy Swakopmund and headed straight to the lighthouse, something I've always been looking forward to photograph and seeing. Unfortunately, because it being a public holiday, most places were closed, including the lighthouse. It really is one of the prettiest lighthouses I have ever seen. Located opposite the municipal gardens, it was opened in July 1902. It is 21 years older than Walvis Bay Lighthouse at Pelican Point. A further 10 meters was added in 1910. The original beacon erected at the mole was washed away by strong current. The lighthouse is still in operation, guiding ships with its lights seen as far as about 35 nautical miles. One of my photographs I always wanted to photograph was the himba, but thought I would only encounter them in Natasha. Imagine my surprise in finding a family right in the waterfront. I offered them money for a photograph and to buy a bangle. 10 rand a bangle later and tons of photos. The himba are a tribe of nomadic pastorites who inhabit the Kaokaland area of Namibia. They are actually descendants of a group of Herero herders who fled into the remote northwest after being displaced by the Nama. For lunch I went to the jetty and had fish and chips and the most amazing view over the ocean. The jetty was originally built in 1905, hence the name. But don't worry, it was completely refurbished in 2006. I dined like I was in the middle of the ocean. I went and had a cheesecake and coffee at a quaint restaurant behind the Woermann House. Woermann House and Tower is situated in Bismarck Street. This beautiful old building was erected in 1894. During 1903 and 04, the Woermann House was extended and extravagant wooden panels offices were added. The Damara Tower served as a water tower, landmark and navigation point for the ships of Woermann Lane. In 1921, the South West Africa Administration bought the Woermann House and converted it into a schoolhouse. It was later restored and transformed to the public library and art center is today. Next I went to look at the camels. One could ride in the desert. Now this would have been a cool thing to do. But the queues were so long and standing waiting in the blazing hot sun was not my idea of fun. But it's well worth the experience, and at 200 rand for a 30-minute ride it would be an amazing experience. Diane sent me a message saying to try campsite mile 4, so I head off in that direction, but having no expectations. Surprise, surprise, a spot. So I booked in at 200 Rand for the night with amazing clean ablutions and site electricity. Sally and I don't have to sleep in the street. Made a fire and bride my meat, all good in Africa. I met my neighbours and they reckon I should go to Henties as there is a shipwreck just outside Henties. I will Google it and see if it is accessible, and if it is, that's where I will visit tomorrow. Packed up camp, stowed everything away, then Sally and I decided to visit Henties Bay. I was definitely on the cards. I wanted to know why this was called the best fishing spot on earth. Henties is only 70 kilometers from Swakopmund, but in the region known as the Skeleton Coast because of all the shipwrecks. About 14 kilometers from Henties was the first one called Zella of Hangana. The Zella got stranded on 25th August 2008 in the early morning hours near Devala, a popular fishing spot about 14 kilometers south of Henties Bay. Sally and I pushed on to Henties. The road is salt surface and it feels like driving on a tar road. The namesake of the town is Major Hendrik Henty Stephanus van der Merwe, who discovered the place in 1929 while looking for water. He had been hunting a rhinoceros in the arid hinterland of the Namibian coast near the Brandberg in order to collect a reward from the museum in Pennsylvania that was in search of a rhino skeleton. After shooting the rhino and scraping meat from the bones, water resources of the expedition diminished and forced the party to load the decomposing carcass and search for water. They chose to head into the direction of the Atlantic coast and reached it close to Cape Cross. From there, Van der Merwe and his fellows searched southwards for the mouth of the Amoraru River. A few miles south of the mouth, they discovered a deep sand valley with wheatgrass growing in it. Advertising the presence of fresh water, Van der Merwe liked the place, and after delivering the bones and collecting his reward, he returned the following Christmas to build a wooden hut in the riverbed. The place became known as Henties Bay, and developed into a holiday hideout, mainly because of the abundance of fish in the spot. The village is very quaint and definitely a fisherman's paradise, with the main catches being steenbras and kabeljau. Sally and I hung around and watched some fishermen bringing in some big ones, and then headed back to Swakop to chillax a bit and plan tomorrow's route. I want to photograph the sunset at the jetty tonight, but it's a long wait, as sun only sets at 7:50 p.m.